Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to BFTV, the Boxing Fans TV podcast, and I'm your host, Chris, aka the Green Eyes Bandit. Okay, everyone, so I wanted to take a moment to talk to you all before we dive into today's content. I've been thinking about my podcast a lot and where I want to be, where I want to take it, and I've decided that I need to take a break to rebrand and refocus. I want to make sure that my content is the best it can be, and that means taking some time to learn and improve. You may have also noticed that I've been wearing a Bandit mask in my previous videos. Well, that was for the kids because I've got a lot of young viewers, and I wanted to create a fun character for them to enjoy. But now it's time for me to take a step back and figure out what's next. So I'm going to finish strong with some analysis of the Canelo event, including the Undercard, the Canelo versus Berlanga fight, and post-fight breakdown. And then after that, I'll be taking my break. But I'm looking forward to coming back stronger and better than ever. Thank you all for tuning in and showing your love and support. But let's get started, my peoples, and let's dive into this exciting undercard of the Canelo versus Berlanga fight. We've got a stacked lineup, my peoples. First up, Eddie's Lara takes on Danny Garcia in what promises to be a thrilling matchup. Lara's middleweight title's on the line, and Garcia's looking to make a statement. Next, Caleb Plant faces off against Trevor McCumbee. Plant's seeking redemption after a tough stretch, and McCumbie's unbeaten record is on the line also. We also have Rolando Romero, who's looking to bounce back from a tough stretch against Manuel Jaimes, I think is his name, who's won 4 straight since his only loss. We also have Stephen Fulton, who's returning from a 14-month layoff against Carlos Castro, who's looking to recover from back-to-back losses also. And we also have Royman Villa, who seeks redemption after a knockout loss to Jaron Boots Ennis, facing Ricardo Salas in a fight that could get him back on track. And finally, we also have Jonathan Lopez, who takes on Richard Medina in a battle of junior lightweight prospects. Listen, guys, these fights have the potential to be game changers for these boxers, and I'm excited to break them down for you. So stay tuned for my analysis, and let's get down to the nitty-gritty and break down this fight card for tomorrow night. All right, guys? Boom. So, yeah, guys, man, so the big card is tomorrow night. The weigh-in already happened. Canelo weighed in at 166 pounds, and Berlanga weighed in at 167 pounds. So, you know, listen, I was telling everybody in the last video that I made, Berlanga's a big dude, strong guy coming in, right? But we'll get that. We'll get to that fight in a little bit, man. Let's start with the opening card that is coming in, which is young up-and-coming prospect Jonathan Lopez, who's 16-0 with 12 knockouts, versus Richard Medina. This kid Jonathan Lopez has serious knockout power. Reminds me a little bit of Wilfred Benitez, but with power. I was watching one of his fights. I forget the name of his opponent, but I think it was Jose something. Jonathan Lopez knocked him out in the first round. It was so cruel, devastating. The man was literally out. I believe they had to take him out on the stretcher. It's a scary fight, scary knockout. So I don't even suggest you guys go on YouTube and look up that fight. It was horrible. Oh, poor guy. But yeah, Jonathan Lopez is an upcoming star. And in front of him, he got Richard Medina, who's 15-2 from Texas. Tough kid who fought Raymond Ford and gave Raymond Ford a little bit of a scrabble. But in this one, I think it's the way Jonathan Lopez is looking, that's kind of scary power. I don't think this fight is also going to go too long. Richard got to try to make it hard, difficult, like he did with Ford. But other than that, you know, Jonathan Lopez is the favorite in this fight. I do see him coming out victorious, and most likely it's going to be a knockout, you know. But I wish Richard Medina the best of luck also. Then we also have Roman Villa, who got destroyed by Jaron Boots Ennis not too long ago, unfortunately. But tough guy overall. Sounds like a shooting over here, right? Motorcycles in today's. But anyway, yeah, we got Roman Villa versus Ricardo Salas, another come-forward type of fighter. This is the type of fighter that's supposed to get Roman Villa back on track after his loss against Jaron Boots Ennis. This is the perfect fight for him, although Ricardo Salas is a tough fighter who comes forward very strong, very powerful, and who knows, could cause the upset there tonight, man, because, you know, sometimes when a fighter's coming off a beatdown the way Roman Villa's coming off, that usually, takes the fight a little bit of time to get back on track, because sometimes it's better to get him an opponent that doesn't really have too much knockout power. But Ricardo Salas is a heavy-handed type of fighter. He's going to come forward. He's going to make it rough for Marilla. So I do expect a nice, exciting opening card with Jonathan Lopez and Roman Villa starting the night. Then we also have Stephen Fulton, who's coming off his loss against Inoue. He's fighting Carlos Castro from Puerto Rico. And that should be an interesting fight, because Stephen Fulton is actually moving up to featherweight to meet Carlos Castro. Stephen Fulton, he seems ready. He's talking a good game. He says he's coming for the knockout. He hopes to get it. But Carlos Castro's no pushover, man. He's a good boxer. He's tall, lanky, has good movement, has good skills, so I expect him to make it a little bit rough for Stephen Fulton. I do expect Stephen Fulton to pull out the win, but should be an interesting scrap right there. Two good boxing guys, okay? Good for your amateur boxers to actually watch, most likely too. And then we also have Rolando Romero, who's coming off a defeat in the hands of Isaac Cruz, who he underestimated. He thought he was going to go in there and overpower the little guy, and unfortunately that wasn't the results for Rolly. He felt the bombs, got hit, lost balance. But Manuel Jaimes is a different type of fighter. He reminds me a little bit of Steve Claghetti that fought Teofimo Lopez not too long ago. A volume puncher with a lack of power. However, he has been training in Roberto Garcia's gym, and we know the type of results fighters in Roberto Garcia's gym get, okay? Roberto Garcia himself has trained and created and made 16 world champions. So if he had anything to do with Manuel Jaimes in his training camp, I do expect Manuel Jaimes to frustrate Rolando Romero, apply a lot of pressure, cut the distance on Rolando Romero, smother his punches and stuff like that. That's the way that Manuel Jaimes could actually take Rolando Romero's power away, okay? Smothering his punches, stay active, stay on top of him, because Rolando Romero likes to counter punch, he likes to wait, he likes to use his power. You could always see that he's basically always looking to load up in order to throw his bombs. So the best way, Manuel does have a style in order to cause an upset also and give him fits and come out with the win. But again, I'm gonna go with Rolando Romero, who's the main fighter in this event, okay? And we also have Caleb Plant versus Trevor McCumbee. Same thing for Caleb Plant, right? Caleb Plant, I believe, wait, is he coming off? Sorry, peoples. Let's look at that one there. Caleb Plant, though, who's he coming off the losses against Benavidez, if I'm not mistaken? Let me see, guys. Give me a second here. All right, let's go to BoxRec. All right. So yeah, and then Trevor McCumbee, man, I was going around looking at videos of him. I couldn't really find much, just a few highlights. So the only thing I could assume about Trevor McCumbee is that, he's strong, he looks powerful, he looks very fit at the weigh-in, and he looks like he could punch. He looks like he got some pop on him, He looks like he's a natural 175 pounder. So, and yeah, okay, so yeah, Caleb Plant is coming off his unanimous decision loss against David Benavidez, but there's no need to feel bad about that, Caleb, okay? We know who Benavidez is. So I'm sure Caleb Plant is coming over with a chip on his shoulder too, because Caleb Plant has been going through a lot throughout this media, being attacked by fans, being called out by Edgar Berlanga also. A lot of things going on with Caleb Plant. So I just hope he's focused and he's ready for Trevor McCumbee. Again, Caleb is going to have to really rely a lot on his skills, which he has excellent skills, and use his experience over Trevor McCumbee. Again, there's not much to watch with Trevor McCumbee, but I don't think Caleb Plant, even with the little highlights that I watch, I'm sure with what they saw, they should be able to handle the Trevor McCumbee. This is Trevor McCumbee's first big fight, so finally something's gonna get televised and something to study about him after this, right? But I expect Caliplan to deal Trevor McCumbee his first loss. But again, we don't have too much about Trevor McCumbee. And last but not least, man, a fight, man, that I'm really not happy about, which is Erislandy Lara versus Danny Garcia. You know, yesterday I was at my gym, and one of the clients, one of the students over there asked me what I thought about that fight. And I right away told them that I really didn't like the fight, and I thought that Danny Garcia most likely was gonna get stopped because he's been away from the ring for a very long time now, right? I believe it's been 2 years or almost 2 years he's been away from that ring. And from my experience already in the game also, every time a boxer has a long layoff and tries to come back to a big fight, it doesn't go well. And then we're talking about a Cuban sensation like Erislandy Lara, who's an excellent boxer with a 100% high IQ in there, who's, you know, coming off a big knockout, you know, in the first round of Zarafox, I think is how you pronounce his name. However, I'm gonna change my thought a little bit. I was saying that Danny Garcia was gonna get wiped out, right? But I kind of like changed my mind a little bit because after seeing the weigh-in also, I noticed that Danny Garcia is not actually that much smaller than Erislandy Lara. He's actually basically the same height, probably only 1 inch apart. Two, I saw an interview of Danny Garcia where he did claim that Erislandy Lara has not fought anybody in his last 5 fights. And I have to agree with Danny Garcia. The last opponent that Erislandy Lara has had is not anyone of note who's brought anything to the table. You know, but I'm still gonna go with Erislandy Lara winning by a unanimous decision for the simple fact that he's an excellent boxer, he's been in the ring, he's still been active. You know, he's been in there with big opponents like Canelo Alvarez, Paul Williams many years ago, you know, where he got robbed, you know, and a lot of tough other opponents he's been in the ring. So I expect Erislandy to be, even though he's 40 years old or 41 years old, I expect him to be fresh and cut, but I expect him to pull out the victory and beat Danny Garcia. Most likely we'll see Danny Garcia retired after this fight. Hopefully I'm wrong. One thing for sure though, Danny definitely has a puncher's chance with that left hook. He's very strong, very powerful. I've always said Danny Garcia is not very good against southpaw fighters. He doesn't figure it out. He's always looking for that right hand. But like I said, if he lands something clean and good, it could be night for Erislandy Lara. Okay, guys? But anyway, guys, listen, that's it for tonight's video, man. I just want to say thank you. I'll be back real soon. I will be back for the post-fight. And like I said, guys, listen, I'm going to be working on these videos. I'm going to be working on this podcast. I'm going to come back better. It's just like when you're a boxer, you know, when you have maybe a sparring session and you go over that sparring session in a video and you see the things that you got to work on and you got to fix. Well, that's all I'm doing, guys, you know, but I'm coming back better again, you know. I have a lot of kids that are counting on me also, you know what I mean? So I wanted to dedicate these videos to them and to my family, of course, and to my teammates over there at Green Fitness, who I'm going to be seeing real soon, doing the podcast with them. But anyway, guys, thank you for all the support. I'll be back soon. I'll see you for the post-fight. Well, actually, I'll see you tomorrow to dive in a little bit more on the Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez main event fight for tomorrow night, guys. But till then, the Green Eyes Bandit is out. Have a good night, y'all. Peace.